for the Eagles. 2nd down and 10. Fromm throws, and it's picked off. Intended for Galladay. And it's Rodney McLeod on the return. 3rd and goal. This is Boston Scott, and he is in. 3rd and goal. Hurts rolling right. Throws to the end zone.
Did he stay in bounds?
No signal yet. Now there it is. Touchdown.
A big blow. 2 running backs out.
Off the fake to Boston Scott. To the end zone. Touchdown. Lane Johnson. The right tackle.
Is he going to get up there, Kenny? Oh, he put it to work.
Lennon's pass picked off, and it's Alex Singleton who takes it all the way back into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Speaking of defensive scores,
what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday night to you and yours. The Philadelphia Eagles today went above 500 for the first time since week 1 with an absolutely dominating 34-10 victory over the New York Giants. I am Chip for the Birds, joined by Johnny U, 9322, and joining us this fine evening is Adam Mack at Adam Mack NFL and JD Oracle at DUI_JD. What's going on, gentlemen? Happy Eagles victory Sunday night.
Got a W, 8-7. Gotta love it.
Got a big W.
Huge win.
Started out very, very slow. Not the way you wanted to start, but they fired it up. They went going. They got on the Giants. The Giants are terrible. They're a bad football team.
The Giants are a bad football team. And that's what you're supposed to do against bad football teams. In fact, it was 34-10, but in reality, it was 34-3 before they let Glennon throw the ball almost 30 times from the third quarter on. Yeah, that's right. When he went in with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, he threw the ball 27 times.
And had 93 yards, so tell me how good that is.
They're a bad football team.
But
they are a bad football team.
Joe Judge and Daniel Jones are going to be back next year, as announced.
How? Again, as an Eagles fan, I'm ecstatic.
Thank you.
But how are these guys not getting canned? At least one of them has to go.
It's okay. Gettleman's leaving.
Yeah, probably the GM will be gone.
JD, you are our official, unofficial, huge Eagles fan, but kind of not really. Give us our perspective. Talk us back a little bit, because here we are making playoff plans again.
You should be. You should be making playoff plans.
Here we are.
I think it's about time that you guys make playoff plans. I normally try to talk all Eagles fans off their irrational BS for the week, but this one's to be expected. I mean, those guys get booed like every week in the beginning of the game. It's quite awkward. Like, I've never seen a fan base quite so mean to their players. But at the same time, hey, listen, you like it or love it. Like, so the next second quarter, second half, they were cheering again. So
I want to point that out right away, because I think one of the biggest stories that came to be was the idea of Jalen Reagor and booing Jalen Reagor. And sure enough, he goes out there to field punts, loses 3 yards on the first one. Terrible. I mean, he had an awful first half. Then he had a punt return of over 30 yards. And what did the fans do right away? They showed him his love. He had a drop. He covered his ears. He didn't want to hear it because he knew it was coming. We are a passionate fan base, and we give you props when they're due. Take them away when they're not due, unless you play quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, in which case we are totally insane.
We hate you.
Or we love you if you're Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Or Carson Wentz. But then we hate Carson Wentz, but then we don't like Carson Wentz. Look, Jalen Hurts, it was a tale of two halves, in my opinion. And Adam, Johnny, you can comment on this when I make my point. It was a tale of two halves. He was not very good in the first half. He wasn't great in the second half either. He was okay. He made a couple really good throws, but he definitely missed reads. He definitely, held the ball for too long and didn't protect the ball. But also at the same time, Nick Sirianni's game plan in the first half was exactly what Jalen Hurts struggles with. It was a bad game plan and bad execution of that game plan, exactly like it was the first time they played.
I think you go a little bit too far in saying it was bad in the second half. I think the way people evaluate the quarterback position is, you put the binoculars on, you put the microscope down, you really look at it. Yes, the first half, the whole offense was they were out of rhythm. The defense came to play, but I mean, for me, the one big thing is the second half. They came to play. He had 2 touchdown passes. They ran the offense. They were able to move the ball. And I feel people will look at his stat line and say, oh, only 199 yards. He didn't really run the ball much, which he hasn't been the last couple of weeks. 2 touchdown passes. And you can look at it at that. They got the W. But the other thing is,
correct.
You look at other quarterbacks who there's these star type quarterbacks. Justin Herbert lost to the Houston Texans today. And he's
real
supposed
bad.
to be this, he's a very talented player and a very talented quarterback. Yet I think they're 8-7.
Yeah,
so,
they're in danger of actually not making the playoffs now.
For me, the way you look at it, they ran the offense. The second half, they finally, either somebody kicked them.
Ran the ball.
They ran the ball, but someone gave them a kick in the ass and said, let's go. This team is not very good. And they did that.
Yeah, I think the one issue for Jalen is they went to the pass game from the start, and he struggled in the pass game early. So it's hard for a young quarterback to get over those nerves and settle in after, the first 2 drives going 3 and out. One of them was almost an interception. Fortunately, replay helped us on that one. And at that point, he was all, out of sorts. He wasn't settled down. And it was just a completely snowball effect from there. And the one thing they need to do is they needed to go to the run early as soon as he wasn't settled in, because that's going to give him time to relax. A big, run or 2 from Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard is going to get him his confidence back. But instead, they got to 3rd and 10, realized they needed to pass some more, and it just didn't work for them in the first half.
But Chip, he started 3 for 10, if I'm not mistaken. 3 for 10 or 3 for 11. He finished the game 14 for 19. That's 73% completion.
Correct.
So
he started making the right reads, started completing passes. And the couple touchdown throws that he had were beautiful throws. I'm not saying that he can't do it. What I'm saying is that he's still not there yet, and that's okay. This is a developmental year. I have no issues with Jalen Hurts developing through the year. No problem with that at all. Yes, JD, you're raising your hand.
Yes, I'm teacher Tom. I just want to throw this out there. I mean, Johnny's bringing up a good point. 13 for 19 or 14 for 19?
14 for 19.
14 for 19. If anybody else passes that way, we're looking at them like, okay, well, they had a good game. That's not a bad game. And some of the passes that he made were pretty good passes. Like the pass to look how many passes they actually dropped. If you count those 14,
oh my God,
3 of them were drops. Like they weren't even his fault. Like they just literally missed them. So to be honest, he really should have been 16 for 19. Really, let's be honest, 16 for 19. I'm looking at him like, okay, that's great. Has he been running the best? No, but I think he's kind of still shook. Nobody's saying it, but I think he's still they're like, hey, let's chill out on the running him. We don't want to bang him up before the playoffs.
Oh no, they made a big deal about it on the Vilma Albert. He's limping and he's this. And first off, the 2 of them are morons, absolute morons. I wanted to start keeping track of the things that they were saying, which were just so very wrong, but I didn't. But again, we're looking at some of these things. I hope Miles Sanders comes back next week because he's a key part of their team, and I think he will. Lane Johnson now has more touchdowns than Miles Sanders. Again, I understand that's ridiculous, but also it's the way things are.
It's funny.
The defense did, Julie, that the Giants defense is good because they're terrible. Flat out awful. I mean, look, the Eagles did a job today. They played a terrible first half, but again, coming off of 5 days of rest, weird schedules, 5 days of rest, Christmas Eve, there were things that were definitely holding them back. 2 division games in 4 days, it was a lot.
No coach this week, too. They have their coach.
No coach this week. Sirianni shows up, yesterday. Hey, I'm all good. I mean, look, this team went out in the second half and did a job. It was definitely a tale of 2 halves. A lot was to be said of the fact that they almost fumbled the opening kickoff. You could tell that it was going to be that kind of day.
But hey, JJ Arthur-Whiteside's there, right? Right time. scoop it up there for you.
He's
Sometimes in the right place.
He's definitely a first round draft pick for sure.
exactly.
Second, and you shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
I want to say this with Jalen Hurts. I want to pose this question: him getting hurt against the Giants the last time they played, was it a little bit of a blessing? Because there was a couple times where the center of the offensive line, the defense opened up. He scrambled up a little bit and dumped it off in the middle of the field to Jordan Howard was one, I think. I think Miles Sanders may have been another, but he actually looking downfield instead of just looking at running, kind of keeping his eyes downfield, a progression standpoint. And everyone wants to talk about his Dallas Goedert missing in the end zone, and he explained it. Jeff McClain
He did explain it really well, actually.
The question, which is absolutely phenomenal the way he did, because there's so much more intricacies when you're the quarterback. And when you're at the quarterback position, it's not just backyard football or playground football where you're just waiting for somebody to get open and you're throwing it. There's different reads when you're doing pre-snap and post-snap and everything that you're doing, which I think he's gotten a lot better at as the year has progressed.
Well, I agree. And you look at a guy like Cam Newton, and that's why Cam Newton is struggling, because Cam Newton is playing backyard football constantly.
Yeah. Well, they have also Sam Darnold, who's garbage too. So they have issues there in Carolina. But that's for another show.
That's for another show. But again, look, Jalen Hurts led them to a victory. Boston Scott, like Adam said, is the giant killer yet again. He only plays, he can go back into hibernation with Michael Bublé, who we retire at the end of Christmas. I mean, Boston Scott, especially with Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard leading the game, when you had to ice the game, you gave it to Boston Scott, and he did a job. This team did a job. Lane Johnson did a job. Jordan Mailata did a job. This team went out and did what they were supposed to do. They shook Jake Fromm in his first career start, knocked him out of the game because it was so pathetic. Mike Glennon and all of his neck came in, and he did nothing. All of his necks. That meme still is going to go down as the greatest meme of all time. His payroll neck with the $18 million right around his Adam's apple is great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I want to ask. We control our own destiny, and Adam, I'll start with you. We control our own destiny. Can and will the Eagles make the playoffs in Nick Sirianni's first year as head coach?
I think they will. I think next week it's looking at not the teams that are in front of them. So I think it's San Francisco. I don't think we're going to pass San Francisco because they own the tiebreaker. But looking at the teams behind us in Minnesota, they've kind of been struggling lately. And again, the Eagles control their own destiny. But the big thing that's going to help them is Week 17 against the Cowboys. Cowboys have clinched the division, and they're probably by then already going to have clinched the second seed. So
they're going to know either which way, whether or not they're playing for the 1 seed or not.
So Dak's going to sit. Zeke should sit. Micah Parsons should sit. So
I'm okay
with him sitting. I mean, wouldn't be terrible.
He probably would shit though, too.
Yeah.
No, that's Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
That should be a good win.
And Odell Beckham would be there waiting.
Oh God.
They can control their own destiny. They can beat Washington next week if everybody stays healthy. They can beat Dallas if everyone's on Dallas is sitting. And then the teams behind them, even if they win, Eagles still right now have the edge with the better record. So as long as they get their heads out of their ass and come up with a good game plan.
But they have to play a full game. They have to play a full 60 minutes these next 2 weeks. Do you agree? JD, you're shaking your head. You're biting your tongue here. So they can take the first half off next week and still be okay?
Yeah,
I mean,
this defense didn't take the first half.
No, you're right. And I'm with Johnny. Like, he's not lying. Like, the defense has been playing phenomenal the last few weeks. Like, big play Slay is here, dog. Like, he here. And he's going to be a part of every single part of this. And I've been saying this for weeks about the Eagles. The Eagles are playing like a family. Like, like everybody's just got done with the holidays with their family. You got your one cousin that drinks too damn much, but they show up to shit and you love them even though. Like, that's what the Eagles are. They got their cousin that messes up. They got Rager. He messes up, but they still love him. And they pick him up in every week. They still love him. They pick him up every week. And he has made some catches in the last 2 weeks. He goes up and gets a catch the other week. I didn't see him doing it. I saw him do it in preseason, and he did a great job of it. And then I seen him this week. He made a really good kickoff return. Like, listen, guys, I know there's a lot of gloom, like, was it doom and gloom? And I'm not even 100% Eagles fan. I'm telling you, Just chill, y'all. Y'all control your own destiny. You're playing the Washington football team. They don't even have a name. Like, they don't even have a name. These guys are fine. And the Cowboys will probably, like I said, agree with Adam. They're probably going to sit these guys and protect them, regardless.
But you have to understand, you're talking about the doom and gloom. First off, we're Eagles fans, so it's kind of what we do. But secondly, you're talking about a team that has somehow managed to do just enough over these past couple seasons to always be in conversation, right? Last season, we won 4 games, and we still were like, oh, we have an outside shot of the playoffs. This team constantly keeps us hooked in for no damn reason. Now, with that being said, this is a different team this year. This is a very different team this year. And JD, like you said, they're playing for one another. You know, Jordan Mailata was pissed that Lane Johnson didn't make it to the Pro Bowl. So, like, these guys are playing for one another. They're picking each other up. I love that. But, of course, we're fearful. Because if it could go wrong, it can. They're still bringing up 50 years ago the fact that Santa got chucked snowballs at. Like, get new damn material.
Well, did you see the pregame show of yesterday I think it was before the Packers and Browns? They did like a little skit and they had snowballs at Santa, and then all of a sudden they went back to someone else and they went back to those guys. They were throwing batteries. I don't know if anyone caught that, throwing batteries at Santa.
Were they really?
Funniest shit I've ever seen in life.
If I'm throwing a battery at Santa, he's not saying, "Oh, you're throwing something at me." No, I'm gonna hit him in the face, and he's not gonna be getting up. But again, I don't throw batteries. But to Chip, to your point, there's certain people I throw batteries at. Chip, there's certain, like, if you look at next week. So we talked about the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings played the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football, and Green Bay they're rolling. I guess, you know, they're winning games. They didn't roll over Cleveland last week, but again, Minnesota, they beat them. If San Francisco wins against Houston, and then, of course, if the Eagles win, and if New Orleans loses either Monday night or next week to Carolina, the Eagles will have a playoff spot without even having to play against the Cowboys, which is it's remarkable.
They can't fuck it up.
Yeah. The thing that's remarkable, though, also is if they didn't drop that last game to basically beat themselves the last game against the Giants, they would be on a 6-game win streak, if I'm not mistaken. And
right, but again, and Julie says it here, I want to see 2 games being played from start to finish. We cannot leave any even shred of a chance for some of these teams to compete.
But, like, hold on. But, like, you're wanting this team to play a good game from start to finish. How many teams how many teams play a good game from start to finish? Even the Chiefs even struggle in the first half of a lot of games. It wasn't until recently that they played my shitty ass Steelers that they decided to get a whole game together.
Yo, they beat the hell out of your team.
Hey, man, watch them out. I'm still tender. Listen, dude. It's like I'm sitting on a donut right now from my complete, like, rump wrangling that we just got.
You did get rump wrangled.
Thanks, bud. I really appreciate that. But, like, I'm saying,
glad we could help.
Listen, all I'm saying is, no, it's really difficult to play a start to finish in the NFL. Like, it's in college, it's very you see teams, they do it all the time. They're like built like that. Like Alabama's built like that. They can string together a game. This is the NFC East. You never know what the hell is going to happen. Like, it's a shit show. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
The thing is, you don't know. You look at this year. This year has been so weird in the NFL. You look at a team like the Detroit Lions, and you look at them. You look at Houston. You look at the Jaguars. Some of these teams are beating good football teams. So to expect a team to be good from start to finish, I just don't understand. Like, you're going to have some hiccups. There's some teams. It's about adjusting, and that's what the NFL is all about. Right. It's about adjusting. It's about you go into halftime 3-3. You adjust yourselves. You adjust it. You can adjust yourselves, I guess, still depending. But
one of those kind of shows.
Nick Fulsher adjusts himself on the Seattle defense at the end of that game. But we just have to look at this team and it's a developmental year. And I know there's a couple young players. Adam was texting me during the game. There's a couple young players that really showed out, and I feel that the defense has played so well recently. And I know they're playing against. Oh well, look at who they're playing against. To me, that doesn't matter because in prior years they'd let quarterbacks with lesser names, be able to put stats up on them. And they're not doing that right now. They're able to control the game. Ever since they put T.J. Edwards in the middle linebacker slot and let him play so much more, their run defense, they're not giving up. I think it's been 3 or 4 straight games. They haven't given up over, I think, 70 or 75 yards rushing.
I don't know. Alex Singleton was the stud of the game.
He played well. He
played great.
The one
Marcus
thing
Epps as well.
The Eagles, like, playing a full 60 minutes is, like, if you can play a full 60 minutes in the NFL, that means you're playing on talent alone. And the Eagles don't have enough talent to win on talent alone. So the fact that they went into halftime 3-3 and then came out and scored 31 unanswered points and then gave up a garbage time touchdown to Evan Ingram in the last couple minutes, that shows you that they're playing the full game. I'd rather a team play strong and finish to the end rather than start really strong, 28-3, and then say, we're winning the game, and then
we're winning the Super Bowl.
Just a score that came to my head. But, like, I'd rather have a team, start off slow and pick it up by the end. Yeah, we didn't play the best football to start the game, but we played our best football at the end of the game, and we got the win at the end. This is also the NFL where, like, we don't have 12 people in a conference room deciding who makes the playoffs. Your record is what's going to get you into the playoffs. It's not what Joe Schmo over here thinks is, a quality loss or a quality win. Your wins are going to get you in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter if it's you played good for 60 minutes or you had the lead for the last 5 seconds of the game.
There's a lot of Joe Schmoes out there on Twitter. I think they know everything. So, unfortunately, there's a lot there.
Yo, Chip,
Twitter,
I want to give you a question.
Twitter
Chip.
is unfortunately filled with them. So
I want to give you a question, Chip.
What you got?
I know you're the host, but I want to give you a question.
What you got?
Out of all the teams that they played this year and all the games that they won and they lost, what is the most remarkable thing from this year so far?
If you don't say Lane Johnson's touchdown, you're a fraud.
Yeah, you're not real.
Well, of course. I mean, I thought you were talking about like what?
No. I mean, about the season, about the outcome. Like, what is the most? What's the most impressive about the outcome? Because I got something very funny to share with you guys here in a second.
I think the fact that overall they're even in the playoff contention. I mean, they went out, they stomped on Atlanta, who is still in playoff contention somehow. I didn't realize they were actually a quality team. The Panthers at the time were better. They went toe-to-toe with the Bucs for a little bit.
For the entire game. They lost 28-22 that game.
I know, but the score wasn't reflective of the game.
Well, it's pretty reflective.
We got slapped by Dallas in the first game. We got slapped by the Chiefs. Like, there were games that we knew the outcome when the schedule was released. But I think them playing against some playoff teams pretty close is my thing.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, I think you kind of go, like, I was arguing with my friends in Cleveland. I was talking to Johnny about this, and all my friends in Cleveland who are Browns fans are like, the floor for us is 12-5. We're going to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I'm like, this is the beginning of the year. I'm like, you know what? I'm hoping that we don't get a top 5 pick. That's our own. Like, that's kind of like our goal. Like, things are gonna be bad. Like, we have a lot of young players, but right now, the fact that we're sitting 8-8 or 8-7, whatever it is, just presuming one of them is gonna be a loss at the end of the year because that's the Eagles. But the fact that we're in playoff contention right now just says a lot. And it's like the games that we are like, it's contending. Like even the Broncos game. The Broncos were a decent football team all year. Remember, they got blown out by Vegas. So it's like, oh, we're going to go into Denver now. It's just going to be an absolute shit show. But we're pulling out wins. So the fact that right now our season's not over when it should have been over, we thought it was probably going to be over like 4 weeks ago.
Well, we were 2-5.
Yeah, there's
2-5 they started.
I remember at one point we were like, oh my God, 3 top 10 picks. It's going to be amazing. We're going to get some great talent. And now it's like, let's make the playoffs. Let's go on a run. Like,
And we've talked about this where it's like last year I didn't want to sneak into the playoffs just because somebody gets come from the NFC East. I didn't want that. This year, I want the playoff experience because you got a head coach who needs it. You got a new quarterback that needs it. You got a team that's thirsty and hungry for it. I want the playoffs this season. Even if it's one and done. You just got to get to the show.
It's experience for these young guys. Like the Eagles are a young football team. Yeah, they have some vets in Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. But there's a lot of young guys that haven't seen the playoffs. and playing in that playoff atmosphere, yeah, you're going to probably get blown out by Green Bay or Dallas, whatever. But it's playoff. And we have a bright future ahead of us with 3 first-round picks and room to grow in free agency. The ceiling is getting bigger and bigger for the Eagles. And a small playoff run, even if it's an early exit, is still going to be a good step for this young team.
What about you, Johnny?
For me, like early in the year, there was a lot of clamor about Nick Sirianni and, you need to fire the head coach. He doesn't. And I said, you need to, hold up.
I didn't say fire. I said he needed to get a adult senior voice in his ear. But I wrote an article that said the kids can't coach. I will eat crow on that one. The kid is learning.
Yeah, and for me, it's just watching him develop as a play caller and as an organizer of a game plan and being able to what they're being able to do. And early in the year we wanted them to run the ball, and then they kind of went away from it. But now they're doing that, and it's just for me, it's very exciting because a lot of people I put them at I think 10-7 this year, and that was the high point. I was thinking more between 7 and 10 or more.
That's what I said 7 and 10.
But I said 10-7 just to be, I'm the optimist. That's just how I am. But you look at it and you look at this team, and it's funny because everyone said this rebuild is going to take 3-4 years, 5 years. And I said, there is never in Jeffrey Lurie's time as a Philadelphia Eagles owner, has it taken that long to either make the playoffs. I said because it was Ray Rhodes. It was in the first season. Then you have Andy Reid in the second season, Chip Kelly in the first season, Doug Peterson in the second season, and look, we're on Nick Sirianni. It could possibly be his first season, and he make the playoffs. So, to me, just watching the progression of the coaching staff and this team has been very fun because you look at, like Adam said, you look at 2022 and the draft capital they have and the salary cap space that they have to be able to fill some of these holes. It's very, very refreshing.
Well, I have some good news for all of you. All 3 of you should be excited. I should wear my Santa hat because I'm giving out presents to everybody. All right. You get a good outlook. You get a good outlook. Listen, I'm looking at your schedule right now. And as a person who is not an Eagles fan, if I saw this, I would think that the beginning of this season will end badly. I think the coach gets fired. Everybody gets shifted around. But then you take a deeper look. The teams that you guys have lost to this year are the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Raiders, who are now a shit show, the Chargers. That one, and this is where everything changes. The Chargers lost. The Chargers loss did more for the Eagles than a win would have ever done. And I say that to say this. When I played ball, there was always a time where if we lost a nail biter, we would always turn it around. Like those because in those losses, they fought the entire game. That loss, like I was on the seat of my chair. I was like, are they going to beat the Chargers? Like, what's going to happen? And in that game, I didn't see them quit. And you said it earlier. Like when you see a team get punched in the mouth, and they don't quit. And I think it's something that, and I know everybody wants to give it to the team's really gritty, but I think they've taken on the mindset of their quarterback. Like the kid gets punched in the mouth. They talk about him in the media. They say he can't throw. They say he can't pass. He just finds a way to win. He just got like that weird ass, gritty ass like mentality. And that team is taking on his mentality. Like the one game he played his worst game against the Giants. You see him a lot at the end of the game when Jalen Reagor misses the pass and he goes and he like hugs it. Like this is not a team that you can tear up in the media. You can try. Like Philadelphia media can have a field day with this.
It's called Howard Eskin and Jeff McClain. And Jeff McClain did put something out, I think it was yesterday, about how Fletcher Cox wanted to be traded and they said they were going to trade him. It's just like something they try to bring out to then, unravel the team. He did it last year. Every single week it was something. And then the offseason, every single week it was something. And I think the funniest thing is when he asks questions, sometimes they give him one little word answer. So they don't even answer his question because they know what he does and what he tries to do. And, and
they're smart.
Technique. Yeah.
And you know what's, and I will say this about Jalen Hurts and I'm done. I swear, because Jalen Hurts played for Nick Saban. He's also taken on that same mindset.
Yeah.
We'll answer the question. I'm just not gonna give you clickbait. You're not giving me the rat poison.
Yeah.
You're not giving me.
Diggs just got another interception.
F that guy. Was he out of position? That's the question. Because he's never in the right
step
position.
for step with the dude.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
He's also going to give up over 1,000 yards.
For sure.
True story. Sorry, no, I agree with what you're saying, JD. It's this. We've had conversations, you and I know all of us, about why there is the animosity towards Jalen Hurts just on a sheer eye test level. Yes, his arm as a quarterback is not good enough yet. Even his long throws, the one to Quez and the one to Devontae Smith, were underthrown footballs today. Devontae Smith went up as a number one receiver and got it.
Chip, let me ask you this question. I want to kind of bounce this question because it kind of Baker Mayfield.
Oh God, trash.
Can
number one pick.
I don't want to talk.
I know. I'm not talking about the draft capital anymore. Look, they are whatever they are. It's regardless of look. Jalen Reagor was drafted in the first round. He's not a first round receiver. He's not. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was a second round draft pick. He's not a second round receiver. But Andre Dillard, second round, not a second round line. Like these guys are not where they got drafted. It's just who they thought was the best fit for them at the time. I'm done looking at where they got drafted because Tom Brady got drafted where he got drafted, and he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's got to improve if he's going to have a long-standing career here.
He's also 23. And
that's the thing. And out of all the quarterbacks that we've had even recently, he's the one that I trust will improve. Because his work ethic is too serious.
Let me ask this question because, Dak Prescott has struggled in last how many weeks? He hasn't looked right.
Yeah, for 4 weeks.
How about this quarterback? I don't really ever hear too much criticism about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's been absolute awful the last 4 weeks.
How about the fact that Kirk Cousins should be in the MVP conversation?
No, stop.
No,
stop.
Statistically, yes, he should.
Stop it.
No.
You stop it right now, Chip. You're trying to start shit. Stop it.
Yes, I am, because he's garbage. He's a dumb peep too.
This is what clickbait's for.
This is what we do. I'm gonna cut this little part out of the show and say this is what Chip said. and it's honestly what you're saying. These things that you're saying are all things, but what I think Johnny is saying is not only is Jalen Hurts 23 years old, but he works every day. They hate
every day.
They hate, like, people hate, and it's like it's the weirdest thing ever. Like, people hate him because he works hard. But this is the mindset of a Philadelphia native. And I just moved here and I know that. Like, I see dudes going to work early. They work long hours. Like, I imagine Jalen Hurts going to the big guys where they lift weights. I imagine him showing up at 4:30 with his lunch pail and working out all day with those guys. And then after he gets done, he goes home dirty and he goes back to the gym afterward. And then he gets in reps throwing. He's going to get better, guys. I'm telling you, every single level I've seen him on, he's gotten better. Like, when I saw him at Alabama, he couldn't throw 10 yards. He couldn't throw the ball 10 damn yards. They had such good running backs. He could not throw the ball. But by the time he got to Oklahoma and he saves their ass in the SEC championship game against Georgia, he could throw it a little bit. And then when he got to Oklahoma, he was throwing it all over the fucking field. And then now I'm watching him with the Eagles, and they say week to week, let's get rid of him. Like,
no, I'm not saying let's get rid of him.
Who's better? Who's better?
And Gardner Minshew is not the damn answer, so they got to stop with that. What I'm saying is it's more of the relationship as the play caller and the guy executing the plays. Sirianni has got to call plays to help him execute. You're going against a bad Giants rush defense. They're one of the worst in the league. And out of the first 6 plays, like 5 of them are pass plays.
I think the one thing for Sirianni and Hurts that you touched on, their relationship needs to get stronger. But you have a rookie quarterback. Truly, he really is, because he wasn't the starter last year. He was thrown in a really shit situation towards the end of the year. So, really, this is his first full year as a starting quarterback. He has a rookie head coach who tried to do too much too quickly. And so they're both trying to find their footing in this league. And from where they started to where they are now, yeah, Sirianni still has some growing pains. But look at it today. He went too quickly, too early. His quarterback struggled. He adjusted the game plan at halftime. And then Hurts was able to play a lot better in the second half. Like, he made the plays. Like, the Devontae Smith touchdown was a perfect throw to him.
It was.
Beauty of a throw to Lane Johnson. We're not giving credit to Jalen on this play. It was a beauty. Like, Lane doesn't know how to catch. It was a beauty of a pass.
Whoa. Former
Lane is-
tight end Lane Johnson. You hold your tongue, sir.
Okay.
Lane is he's like, I mean, can I say this up for everybody? These offensive linemen have had a revolving door all year, and these guys have been phenomenal. I don't know the coach's name. I know one of you guys can tell me.
Jeff Stoutland.
That dude is the coach of the year. I don't give a shit what happens. He's had more injuries, more guys moved in. Like I think Malata even played a little bit on the opposite side of where he started. Like they just move there. And then Kelsey, the way that this guy, like, I don't know, like what he's made out of is if it's like vibranium or something. We're gonna find out later. Like this dude, I mean, I don't know. I've fallen in love with the team, and I know that's not my team, but I'm falling in love with them. They play hard. It just seems like nothing really can stop. I mean, they lose games. They lose, but it's the way they lose. They don't just give up. They fight to the end. Like that's more like I say for my Steelers.
Said, the games that we lost outside of the Chiefs and the Cowboys game, they were fights.
Raiders.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
The Raiders game too, yeah.
Yeah, there was some racist
They were
shit going on
fights.
over there though. So I'm convinced.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the first game they had without
Gruden.
Chucky. Yeah.
Chucky.
Chuck.
Benny wanted to know a while ago who we rooting for tonight, Cowboys or the football team.
I don't care. Just let them beat the shit out of each other.
I'm rooting for the personal trainers to have a busy night.
I'm gonna be honest. It's real life, real shit. I'm rooting for the Cowboys. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Cowboys keep winning, they'll be less amped to play their players against the Eagles, which will guarantee a win for the Eagles. Which honestly, I don't want the Cowboys to fucking win. I'm just being real. I don't want them to win. I hate them. But
the other thing is with Washington, like they're only 6-8. They're not totally out of it yet.
Yep.
Like you don't want them to start. I want them to have nothing to play for.
exactly. Pack it up.
Sometimes those can be the most dangerous games. They have nothing to play for. They have nothing to lose. Look at the Matt Nagy's play call. Scores a touchdown with 30 seconds left, down 1, goes for 2.
He wouldn't have done it if it was Fields or Dalton. He did it because it was Saint Nick Foles back there. That's the only reason why he called it.
Listen, they still won.
The tricky dick. I mean, can we say that online? I mean,
You already have, so yes.
sorry, guys. I got to get better on live TV. I got to do better.
Yeah, you're good. So listen, we've hit a 37-minute mark. We're going to wrap it up there. Look, the Eagles got a victory. It was a great victory. Real quick, 30 seconds or less, your MVP of the game. Johnny, start with you.
Cameron Malvo, because he got a tackle and he was playing in place of Ryan Kerrigan, who can't do shit on the field. Sorry. I had to throw that in. You know, I had to.
Why are you like this?
Because I said he was going to get a tackle, and he did. And when he did, I
I hate it here.
I hate it here. This is why we can't analyze things.
But no, if I'm going to go MVP, I'm going to go the Eagles defense, just because every single one of those players, they balled out, and they did so many good things against, a terrible Giants team. But still, you have to beat the players that are in front of you.
Okay, Adam, who's your MVP of the game?
Yeah, Johnny took mine, but I was going Jonathan Gannon, man. Like, the Eagles easily could have been down 21-3 going into the half. And they honestly should have been. That defense won the Eagles the game. Like, yeah, we're talking about how great the Eagles offense looked in the second half. Eagles defense, they showed up and they performed. Eagles also could have had 4 interceptions. 2 of them were drops.
Yep.
Darius Slay lost the ball in the sun, literally just threw his hands. But the defense showed up. They executed. Yeah, defense won championship. The defense kept the Eagles in this game, and the offense won the game. But if the Eagles defense didn't show up, they're going to lose because they're going to be down 21-3 going into the half easily. And then it was just going to be downhill in the second half if they weren't stepping up. So shout out to Jonathan Gannon, who's been, again, a great find as a defensive coordinator this season for the Eagles. He's kept the Eagles alive in a lot of football games so far.
There you go. JD, who's your MVP?
Co-MVPs. Get it right. Co-MVPs. I'm giving it to the 2 offensive guys. I'm giving it to Lane Johnson for that phenomenal catch. You don't really get to see linemen make catches, and this one actually counted, unlike the one from the other guy caught it on the other team. And Boston Scott, dude. I know he's had his share of ups and downs here in Philly. Like he's kind of always out. He's not counted because just the simple fact that he's a small guy. But every time we put him in and we need him to make good plays, like he makes plays. So Co-MVPs, man.
He's a giant killer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine's the Eagles' offensive line as a whole. Yes, because of the Lane Johnson touchdown, but over 100 yards rushing, only 1 sack allowed most of the day. Jalen Hurts was kept pretty clean. So once again, the O-line stepping up and doing big boy things. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. JD, you and I are on tomorrow night with Chip and Drip. We're going to talk about the Ben Simmons MVP campaign.
Let's go.
Or the All-Star campaign, which is a actual thing. Wednesday, we are... Oh, yeah, sorry.
About Tuesday.
Tuesday, Burning Bridges. I apologize.
With special guest Tom Bahali. So that should be fun. That should be a fun episode.
There you go. Wednesday, All About the Birds Weekly Report. We got to talk about the Washington football team again. Cool. And then Friday, Birds, Beers, and BS. Sunday, we're live at the West End.
Yeah. Jam-packed.
Jam-packed week. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, sharing. We're trying to build that YouTube following up because Twitter hates us. So like, subscribe, share on YouTube. All the links are in the bio. All of our great sponsors are in the bio. I'm Chip. That's Johnny. That's Adam. That's JD, a.k.a. D Drippy. And as we end every show here on the All About the Birds Network,